Hello and welcome to another AIC video. I'm going to apologize. Um, a comment actually reminded me that I hadn't done a follow-up video on my Latitude 3140. I did a hardware showcase on this probably a couple months ago at this point, but never followed up to kind of to give a final review of it. Uh, and that part of that is I got really sick, and so a lot of my projects got put on hold. The other part is I really didn't have a whole lot of things to say about this laptop. It's way too expensive for what it is. I'll say that much. Um, it used to be that you could get for sub $200 a laptop that was pretty functional for most people if they just needed very basic computing use, and that hasn't really changed. The problem is there's too many laptops available on the market that are used that are so much better that it's kind of a toss up when you're looking at like 200 $250. This laptop, I don't remember exactly what its price was, but it's like 500 or 600 bucks. Like, it's not a cheap laptop. It does have the Intel N200 CPU. Does have 8 gigs of RAM, where some of those previous laptops had just 4 gigs of RAM. It also has upgradable storage, where the cheaper brother of this has the N100 4 gigs of RAM and eMMC storage. The problem comes in when you look at something like this. This is my X280. I paid like 130, 140 bucks for this on eBay. It also has a touchscreen, has an 8th gen core i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and upgradable storage. So you're getting a lot of the same features in this that you're getting in this, and you're getting a bigger screen with high resolution, a better screen than that. Close enough, I guess. Higher resolution screen than this for a lot less money. As far as the pass mark score goes, I'm just going to do a quick comparison between the two because, one number doesn't really mean a whole lot until we compare it with another. Squeeze in there. So for CPU mark, they're almost the same. They're literally 1 point off. This has 59.49. This has 59.48. That's definitely a margin of error. 3D mark, this has almost 400 points more than the ThinkPad has almost 400 points more at 1201. This has 819. Memory mark, close enough. Disk mark, close enough. All within a margin of error. If you run this like 3 different times, you'll get 3 different scores, but they'll all be fairly close. So they're really close as far as CPU performance. They're kind of close as far as GPU, close enough that you're not going to be playing any games on here that this GPU performance will matter, right? You're not going to suddenly be playing AAA games on this that you're not on this. You're going to be playing some very basic games. So as far as that goes, you're getting a very similar performance machine. What you're giving up is things like the keyboard. The Lenovo has a better keyboard. Like I said, a higher resolution screen on the Lenovo. This does have absolutely fantastic battery life. It does run very cool and quiet. It has a passively cooled CPU, so you're not going to be cooking yourself or having to listen to a fan spinning like crazy. So there are some benefits to this. It would make sense if this was like a $250 to $300 laptop, not the 400, 500, 600 bucks, whatever it costs on Dell's website right now. It's just too expensive for what you're getting. I did want to go ahead and open up a game here. We'll go ahead and play Fall Guys just so you can see kind of the performance we're getting. I'm going to readjust the camera and zoom in on the screen as I load up the game. All right, so I went ahead and looked up the price. This spec right now on Dell's website is $700 for the 3140. I'm hoping that that's a price that they do for, let me turn this volume down, for like businesses or whatever. So that way, like I do a lot of B2B buying, and that price is almost never the actual price you pay. All right, there we go. And there's always big discounts when you're buying corporate stuff, and I'm hoping that's the case. I hope nobody's paying $700 for this laptop. You can buy a lot of nice business class laptops for that price. Uh, so, or you're buying this, I hope, very cheap used on the secondary market. Wait for this to load up here. So we're getting about 30 frames per second, which isn't terrible. Um, it's reasonable enough that I think anybody wanting to buy this to play games on, you know, you're not going to want to be super competitive like this game might be for some people, but if you're playing like a low spec game, it's fine. The problem is, so for example, I'm looking at Lenovo's website, and I picked Lenovo just because I know Lenovo, so I know kind of what the prices typically look like. I'm not trying to sell one over the other. I just going off of what I know. Oh, there's some lag. Anyways, going to Lenovo's website, you can buy a P14S Gen 4 for $800 right now. You can buy an E16 Gen 2 with an AMD for $690. So you can go and spend less money and buy a significantly better system, or spend a little bit more money and get an even better system. No question asked. That's the problem I have with this laptop is the cost is just so much money. I just can't believe how much they're charging for a mediocre low-end system. A few years ago, this would have been a $200 to $300 laptop, and at that price point, it's pretty compelling. If you spend $200 for this thing, that makes a lot of sense. It costs about the same amount as a used $200 laptop. But $700 just doesn't make sense. Anyways, I know I'm hounding on that. Oh crap! I wanted to finish this level before I sign out. Anyways, so yeah, if you have any thoughts or comments, I'm probably going to be either selling this or giving this to one of my kids to use for school stuff. Because it definitely won't be living in my long-term inventory, that's for sure. I just don't see a place for it. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you have an amazing day.